It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Plank of the Week. I'm Mike Graham, this is talkTV, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the one and only Kevin O'Sullivan, my partner in crime on a Saturday night, and Esther Krakue, who I keep calling Krakue because that's what I always call you.
Fine.
I think we're going to stick with that. Who has become also my partner in crime because she's come up with some very interesting ideas of late, and she's been on lots of shows here at talkTV. Let's get things kicked off straight away. Let's have your first plank, Esther.
My first plank is the Grease, basically Grease the musical.
Oh yes.
So Grease apparently gets a diverse and empowered stage makeover with the brunette Sandy, which is like basically sacrilege, isn't it?
It really is.
Is there such a thing as a... Should there ever be such a thing as a...
You said you didn't care on Saturday night.
Well, I said it doesn't matter what you call somebody. If they're called Sandy, doesn't mean they've got sandy-coloured hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but it's all part of this reforming of characters, isn't it?
Going out of their way to cast people who are inappropriate
nothing
for the
like-
role.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
that's what's idiotic.
It's ridiculous.
That's
But you know
what's
why they're
plankish.
doing this? They're doing this because they face claims of racism and slut-shaming.
What, over a brunette and a blonde?
Well, the whole Grease...
How does the slut-shaming bit work? I don't get that. How
Why
is
is that even a bad thing? We need a bit of slut-shaming.
I mean, I don't know whether it's a bad thing or not. I've never been accused of slut-shaming. I've never been accused of being a slut either. I don't think. Anyway.
I hereby accuse
Actually,
you.
I have. Actually, that's
being a
wrong. That's not true.
I hereby accuse you.
That's
being a
not true.
slut.
But, you know, I mean, what about... Grease is a sort of family film, isn't it? It's not,
Yeah.
it's not
Of
horrible.
course it is. Yes, absolutely.
But even if it's not, so what? Who cares?
It's a classic coming-of-age
cares?
movie.
Why
you
does
know.
Sandy need to be a
school
brunette?
movie.
I mean, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John didn't even take their clothes off at any point, did they?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
You know.
I think it's ridiculous. Also, why do we need an Asian or black person in the Grease film? It doesn't even make sense. Where do you find them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mad, isn't it?
And they're putting on a pageant for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, which will sort of encompass her life. And the person who's going to play the Queen in this is a Singaporean Asian girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know, fine, but why not cast someone who looks a bit like the Queen? It would be better.
I wouldn't have a problem with them doing this so long as Nelson Mandela gets to be played by Jackie Chan. That's what I want to see.
Exactly.
But that's not ever going to be allowed, is
Well,
it?
exactly. Or I want Obama to be played by Lawrence Fox.
Sort of a Nelson
sure you would
Mandela.
love
Now, that I would pay to see.
A Nelson Mandela martial arts film. That would be good.
Well, yeah, that'd be
I'd
good,
watch
yeah.
that. I'd watch that.
That
yeah.
could be very good. Who's your first one, Kev?
It is the liars of Westminster. I'm sick to death of these politicians and their little boy and little girl lies.
Yeah.
Who do they think they are kidding? So we've got Boris Johnson still going around saying, well, when there were 200 people in my garden drinking champagne and eating crisps, having been invited to a party, I didn't know it was a party. Yeah, right. You got Keir Starmer saying, no, that was just a quick break between working in our constituency up in Durham. No, it wasn't. It was 10 o'clock and you'd ordered a curry and you were drinking beer. Angela Rayner wasn't there. Oh, she was there. Sorry.
Another lie.
Yeah, we said that in good faith.
should have a
No,
bell,
Keir, you're a
shouldn't we?
liar.
Bing.
You're a liar.
Bing.
Neil Parish.
Bing.
Neil
Who's the
Parish. I
funniest?
was looking for tractors. No, you weren't. You were looking for pornography. Angela Rayner.
you found it.
It's Angela Rayner. Oh, it's so humiliating and misogynistic, all those Basic Instinct stories they told about me. She started it.
Yep.
She's a liar. They're liars, liars, liars. And I don't mind
Hands on
people.
fire.
I don't mind people lying, but I want them to be better at it.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
It's
they don't
pathetic.
They're really bad at lying, actually, aren't they?
Pathetic. The
Useless.
liars of Westminster.
I'm very curious because I also think the person that said Angela Rayner, the way she behaved in Parliament was a distraction to male MPs. That's a liar because there's nothing sexy about Angela Rayner.
There's
She
not
is as
much
sexy
sexy
as a
about her.
steak knife.
Yeah.
I'm
you
so
know,
I mean, I
sorry.
suppose some people might find
Eyes
it
of the
sexy.
beholder,
There is
Esther. Eyes of the
nothing-
beholder.
And also, with the Neil Parish thing, I don't know if you ever remember that story of Jacob Zuma, the former president of South Africa.
Yeah.
He used all the state money to build this massive mansion with a swimming pool and all of that. And when they were grilling him over, obviously, his expenses, he said, no, that's not a swimming pool. That's actually a reservoir in case my house got
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, exactly. And I
That
think
was
Neil
great.
Parish took a leaf out of
Took a leaf.
Jacob
I mean, also
Zuma's
the thing
book.
is, they do say about politics, it's show business for ugly people. So
Yeah.
you know, Angela Rayner, by the standards of
She's a stunner in the Commons.
I mean, you know,
she's absolutely stunning.
Anyone who's got any kind of part of her body which is attractive is somehow sexy because she's long, red flowing locks. I mean,
I'm
therefore,
sorry.
I mean, if you look at the competition on the Labour benches, there ain't a lot of it.
There's not really. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my meme, "Angry Bloke in a Wig." But
Yes.
I think she might fit the
Yeah,
description.
I mean-
if I didn't know she was actually a woman.
Yes.
But yeah, that's quite unfortunate.
I once saw her smoking a cigarette.
Well, this
in
is
the
where the
street.
trouble
that's very
emanated from.
And she's quite striking because she's got that very red hair.
Yeah.
But sexy, I don't think is.
But that's
the word.
where it emanated from, the smoking smoking terrace at Westminster.
Yeah.
Her and apparently it's a sort of convergence of all MPs from different parties,
Yeah.
and they all smoke and chat away. And she was joking with a bunch of Tories and Labour MPs about doing her Sharon Stone act to distract the Prime Minister, and that's where the story came from.
Thing that really
so when
bothers
she
me-
says she's shocked and horrified, she's lying.
The thing that really bothers me about these people is that the guy who was on his phone watching tractor porn, or whatever it was, has his phone paid for by me. You know, Angela Rayner's cigarettes are paid for by you.
Yeah.
You're paying for all the subsidised drinks they're having. And every single thing that they do, partly, I'm sure the party in Downing Street, the party in the North East, it's all paid for by us. We're the mugs here.
Something
We're
that's
actually
funny
the
I
planks.
found?
I know we are.
You know,
I
we're
think
paying
there's
for
actually
it.
such a thing as tractor porn.
There is.
And I hate the fact that I know this, but, you know, there was a story a few years ago of a guy who used to have sex with his parents' car, the exhaust pipe.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, tractors have exhaust
What kind of a
pipes.
car was it? Because some cars are quite attractive.
I'm not even going to respond to that.
You get a Lamborghini,
for
it's
fear.
got 4 exhaust pipes.
Yeah,
You could,
yeah, well,
Exactly, you can have,
You know,
you have
different
Four in a car bed.
your whole harem. Oh my God.
Choose your destination. Yeah.
Well, you get one of
Oh my
those, you know,
God.
you get one of those Land Rovers
but you know,
with the exhaust pipe that goes up in the air, so you go in the water.
So Keir Starmer, right? So they're having this curry and beer party. At
Sorry,
10
it wasn't a
PM.
party.
Yeah, well,
It was a
it was a
small
party.
gathering,
And he said, and Angela Rayner was there. They say she wasn't, and then he said, "Oh well, that was a mistake, but we said she wasn't there in good faith."
Yeah.
No, Keir.
No,
You
there's
are
another
a
lie.
liar.
No, here's the other lie. He said David Lammy was on at the weekend,
yeah.
and he said, "Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter whether she was there or not because they didn't do anything wrong." Huh?
Well,
You
they
that's a
did.
good one.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Look, the thing is, yes, they made a mistake when they said she was there. It's a very busy office." Right.
Yeah, about 10 people in that.
Bing.
slightly.
So, you know,
Ding, ding,
well,
yeah.
it's
But
everything,
you know these
everything that they
people-
say is a lie.
Yeah, they're just liars, all of them.
These
And
people don't
this is-
realise how much they piss off the public.
Yeah.
Because it's the last thing we care about.
Yeah.
We really don't care about it.
Just don't lie.
This is not
You
a
know.
party political issue.
Is that
This
your phone going?
It seems
That may be Angela Rayner.
It is
could
on
be.
silent.
Asking why you don't find her sexy.
Yeah, it could well be. Now, my first one, going from one siren to another, is Angelina Jolie, who is, of course, famous for all sorts of things, including her long relationship with Brad Pitt and also her love of refugees. I think she's adopted quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the poor people of Ukraine, who have suffered enough, I think, under the auspices of the Russian invasion and have been bombarded with sort of cruise missiles and mortar shells all over the place. She decides to go to Ukraine,
To
right?
visit them.
To Lviv. And, you know, not only arrive there, but arrive with this huge entourage as if she was going to the Oscars.
But the thing is,
right?
she's always done stuff like this.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right.
Yeah,
I remember
and that's
when
why she's such an idiot.
I remember when I was in Bosnia.
Tell me what you really
I don't want her to do
I was in
things like
Bosnia
that.
where people were literally killing each other, you know, by the thousands, and suddenly Bianca Jagger turned up, and everyone was like, "What's she doing here?"
Yeah,
and
that's
she's
really
like, "Oh, she's come to see for herself what the suffering is like." No, she hasn't. She's come to see for herself whether she can get an interview on every single network who happens to be covering the Bosnian
Yeah,
war.
but the thing is, she doesn't have that sort of track record. We've always known that Angelina Jolie has done so. Okay, maybe this is probably not the best sort of situation.
You mean
to
so
be
she's
doing it.
always been a virtue signalling fool?
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Look, Zelensky had made an appearance at the Grammys, right? He obviously his
Yeah, but he didn't
strategy
actually
is
go
trying
there.
to
Didn't
keep it
actually
in
go.
his-
yeah, but he didn't
Well,
actually go.
But the thing is,
he's
he's
a bit
been
busy
trying
at
to
the
curry up
moment. Yeah.
favour with these celebrities who I detest, sort of the lot of them. But I just think because of the way they're trying to keep this conflict in the news, right? I get what she's doing. I don't think maybe it was appropriate for her.
I don't
to
think
do
she
it.
needs to keep it in the news,
What's
though.
it got to do with her?
It's pretty big-headed of her, isn't it?
I think she
What's it
went
got to
because
do with
she was
her?
going on behalf of a refugee association.
She's going on behalf of herself.
No, she was going on behalf of Angelina Jolie. Look
Yeah.
at me. Look at
Look
me.
at me. I like
I'm a really,
wonderful.
really
I like
fantastic
wonderful.
person.
I
And oh, by
care.
the way, there's an air raid siren's gone off, and suddenly they all had to go and
But did you see
hide.
her running from the
Yeah.
She didn't look right. She was like pitter-pattering.
See, it was almost like, oh, they didn't tell me there was
Ooh, it's
actually
not a movie. It's
Yeah.
real.
There was actually a war going on. Oh my
blimey.
God! Anyway, she's a plank in my view. I'm taking no truck.
I'm
from
with you,
anybody
mate. I'm with you
her.
all the way.
Who's your second one?
My second one is Boris, who I think is like the second one because he's part of yours, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but liars of Westminster.
This is not
that's
for
generic.
lying, though.
This is not for like surprisingly.
Strangely, Boris Johnson nominated not
Really?
for lying.
Right, I know.
You mean he told the truth?
This
When?
is for sheer plankery, complete
Brilliant.
stupidity. So this is for his right to buy scheme, which is so stupid. It's so ridiculous. It's not even funny. And I think the wider problem is how out of touch the Tories are, because they don't really understand what this country
No.
is. We're in a cost of living crisis. You have people living in council estates, and you're trying to become the second coming of Margaret Thatcher by offering them this right to buy scheme. I'm sorry, if you're in a council flat in a cost of living crisis, you probably can't afford to buy, let alone right to buy.
But if you can, why not?
No, I'm against it, actually. I'm with Esther.
The bigger problem is we, the taxpayers, subsidise this scheme, and the problem with the right to buy scheme is the fact that it artificially inflates prices of houses, and it affects the average person. If you own more than one property, you're subsidising the scheme.
Well, free market.
No, it's not. No, but it's not a free market.
You live in somewhere you can buy it if you want.
No, you can't.
Because
it's a subsidy.
No, because it's being subsidised by the taxpayer, which is not the free market. That's communism, mate.
And he's just doing this to gain votes.
What that means is if you happen to not have any money, you can buy a house. Whereas if you have got a decent job, you still can't buy a house because you don't get any free subsidy.
And you're being penalised for it as well because you're paying more taxes for it.
Exactly right.
It's not fair. There's no right to buy anything, right?
Margaret
if you don't have
Thatcher
the money,
thought it was a good scheme. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, but it was hopeless, though. It was a really bad... It would have been a good scheme if they built more council houses, but they didn't.
Exactly.
So therefore, there's a shortage now of affordable housing, and instead of building more, they're going to sell it off.
But that's the point. They should be giving more permits to be building houses instead of making the average person who probably can't afford to buy a house anyway subsidise someone who really can't afford to buy a house, who has probably no business buying a house.
It was an improvement on his previous offer to help save you some money, which was don't bother getting an MOT for your car. That was that was his first offer. And it's that costs about 25 quid. That's really not going to help that many
and also, it may result in several deaths on the roads.
The Prime Minister said I didn't need an MOT, so I'm sorry I've killed you.
Yeah, sorry I've killed a family on a zebra crossing. The brakes are gone, haven't they?
What can you do? Who's your number 2?
Norfolk Constabulary, the police who have been issued with a special guide called the Genderbread Person. And that on this ludicrous pictorial guide are 37 sexual identities to enable officers to address people in the correct way. So we have...
What do you have for us?
Well, we have some fantastic genders here. We've got androsexual, attracted to masculine gender presentation. What does that mean?
What you mean? Is that me?
Yeah,
am I
I don't know what it means.
Masculine gender presentation?
I think anyone that looks like Rambo.
Okay,
Gynos,
that's not me, then.
These are the explanations, by the way. Gynosexual, attracted to feminine gender presentation.
I was going to say, is that old people?
What is all this?
I was going to say, it's gyrosexual, attracted to people who are unemployed.
Yeah, well,
That'd be a good one, literally.
Here's one. Demisexual. Demi.
Attracted to people with no legs.
No, listen to this. Listen to what... experiencing sexual attraction after forming a strong emotional bond. In other words, a normal relationship. Why does that need a name? And why do the coppers need this? So when they pull you up in their car, what are they going to... Would you go to the coppers? Before you talk to me, you should know I'm demisexual. I mean, why?
Why do we need to know who these people are attracted to?
This is costing us money. This is woke policing.
Also,
what absolutely mad.
If they do pull you over, what do they say? Excuse me, sir, may I see your driving? They can't say that then, can they? Can't say,
well,
sir.
Yeah, sir.
Don't assume my gender.
Yeah.
Well, why do we need to know?
Excuse me, I'm Maverick. Non-binary gender outside of orthodox social bounds of gender.
Well, why do we need to know who these people are sexually attracted to?
Who's coming up with these stupid terms? Neutroids. Here's
what is that? What is that?
Neutroids is identifying as neither male, female, nor genderless. What does that mean?
So you're wind.
But there is a
you don't exist.
But there is a classification for all three of us here, which is good. That's gender apathetic, not caring about identifying as any gender.
Oh, my God.
I mean, why do the police need this? Why are they wasting our money on this?
So now they've got a gender for people who don't care.
Yes!
Brilliant.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just madness. But why are the coppers being issued with the gender-bred person? I mean, it's ridiculous.
And also, you're singling out Norfolk Police. I bet you that's every single police force in the country.
But you know the crazy thing is they spent public money consulting on this crap.
Oh, they do? Well, there are people who are making a fortune. I mean, you always follow the money. Whenever you look at the woke business, right, there are consultants out there who can sort of wokeify your business.
Exactly.
You bring them in, you pay them sort of 50 grand a day or something, and they'll show you how not to be exclusionary and how to be more diverse.
That's a new business model. It's like people that have had a 50-year career in HR that have nothing better to do than to piss us off. This is their new line of business.
I know, absolutely shocking, staggering. My next one is our good old friend from the law courts, Jolyon Moron, as I like to call him.
Always a winner.
This is the guy who continually takes the government to court, continually
the
wastes...
fox's friend.
He's the guy that beat a fox to death on Boxing Day. Do you remember?
I remember.
Dressed in his wife's kimono.
Yes, I remember.
He's got no end of pride in himself. He thinks he's no end of an absolute genius, right? But in fact he is a complete moron, which is lucky because his name sounds a bit like moron. He's lost yet another case. I mean, he's never won any of these cases.
How does he fund these?
This is the good law. He calls it the good law project.
He calls it the good law project, and every time he decides to sue the government, he crowdfunds it. And so all of these, champagne socialist, liberal, lefty types who want to see Boris Johnson behind bars keep giving him money, right? So he spends hundreds of thousands of pounds tilting at windmills.
That's absurd.
And it's ridiculous. So here's his latest judicial review. He challenged a judicial review. The High Court have just thrown it out. Basically, they threw it on the grounds that it wasn't appropriate for a judicial review. And it says each of the claims brought by Jolyon Moron fail because the policies on which they rely are not enforceable in a claim for judicial review. You would think, basically, that he would know the law.
Yeah, and take the hint.
He doesn't know the law.
Also, a lot of people now, because of the lockdowns that caused such a terrible backlog in our legal system, are waiting for their cases to be heard. People with genuine cases, people waiting to find out whether or not they're going to go to jail, and they've been waiting now for 2 to 3 years. And this idiot is clogging up the courts with completely fatuous lawsuits.
And also,
completely
completely disingenuous, right? He raised 118,000 quid to launch this case, right? And when he lost it, he said, "I'm sorry, it's not the result that we hoped for." And then he's got to be ordered to pay £125,000 in costs. It's a waste of everybody's time.
But you know the crazy thing is, if you think we can... I don't understand this whole obsession with suing the government. If we couldn't successfully sue the government for actually locking us in our houses... Right? What makes you think this is going to make
all I would say to you is if you ever do wish to sue the government, don't hire Jolyon Moron.
I wouldn't go
because
near
he has a record of not winning anything. He's literally won nothing.
I know.
It's quite remarkable. Right, down to your third.
Yes, Warner Brothers. So the film studio that is producing Aquaman 2.
Right.
And the reason, obviously, is because Amber Heard.
There's a Freudian slip.
I meant to say
Amber Heard. That is her name now. For technical reasons.
After that incident in the bed.
Oh, my God.
That's great. I'd never thought of that.
Amber Heard, yeah. Well, she's part of the Me Poo campaign. Anyway, Amber Heard is still going to be in Aquaman 2, and the studio have released put out a press release saying, "Oh, she's only going to be in it for 10 minutes." That's 10 minutes.
Oh, that's
too
all
long.
right then. Yeah, Isn't she just fired all her PR people just the other day?
Exactly.
Yeah, what a ridiculous thing. So she goes into this court case, right? The mudslinging case of the century, where her and Johnny Depp just hurl these most disgusting accusations at each other, and then she fires her PR agency, a public relations agency, because she's not keen on the headlines that are coming out on it, and she thinks somehow or other a new PR can save her reputation.
Can't they spin the court case?
I mean, that is classic Lost in Hollywood. Lost in Hollywood.
I thought she fired them because she couldn't afford them.
No, she's replaced them.
Oh, she's replaced them.
With a new agency that she thinks that will get her better headlines. I mean, it's coming out of this mudslinging court case. No chance.
It's not very often a court case makes you feel sort of grubby, but it's almost like you're listening in on someone else's phone call and going, "This is horrible. I don't even want to know. I don't really read it because I just kind of don't want to know."
It's so weird. And the thing is, whether you fall on the sort of Johnny Depp side or the Amber Heard side,
I think they're both as bad as each other.
Yeah, and this is the thing, but it's like his career has literally been put on hold, has been destroyed, really, since she came out with these domestic violence accusations. But she's also clearly been engaging in some... She engaged in some domestic violence during the marriage, so, it's all's fair in love and war.
Clearly they were at each other fight-wise.
You wouldn't want to live next door to them, I think, is the...
I would need a lot of perfume.
You would need a lot of perfume.
She opened her windows.
And also you would need some pretty heavy eardrums as well, to ear pods to stick in your ears. Before we come to your third one, we will be carrying over, once again, we're back to Harry and Meghan getting carried over for losing the Netflix account. Finally, Netflix have seen the light. All of her defenders, of course, who call me racist every time I say, oh, what a sad day, Meghan hasn't got any more money coming from Netflix. They say, oh, no, but they've cancelled all anime. It's just not that, why just picking on her?
This is the beginning of the end.
This is the beginning of the end.
They'll let them do that Invictus Games documentary, which actually won't do that well. But
because it won't be about the Invictus Games, it'll be about them.
Yeah, but they've had enough of this. Netflix, because of their financial fortunes, they're plummeting. They've lost 300,000 and more subscribers. They can no longer indulge in virtue signalling projects. They need hits, and Harry and Meghan will not provide them with hits.
But
they'll provide them with rubbish, and
isn't
Netflix know it.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the end of their deal.
What is it to them, right? After they were in the royal family for 2 days, really, all of 2 days. So they've milked that for all it's worth, right? They've milked that for all it's worth. Her kids' book didn't work. Her podcast didn't work. What if I tuned into anything Harry and Meghan did, what would it be for? What are they telling me?
Well, it will be woke rubbish.
They can
won't
help,
Yeah, because they have no expertise in nothing.
They can help you recenter yourself. And also, of course, the man is not going to sleep or rest until he's made the world a more equal place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yesterday, he was playing polo, by the way, at the Santa Barbara Polo Club with some bloke from Argentina who's worth about a gazillion quid.
I'm sure.
I mean, it's not very equal there, is it?
No, exactly. You got to remember, neither Harry nor Meghan have the faintest idea how to make a television programme or a documentary.
There's nothing to them.
Not the faintest idea.
To them.
No.
And at one point, Netflix thought, well, we'll get a lot of royal credibility out of this. Look, we've got the two royal. Now they're really thinking about money, and they know Harry and Meghan will lose their money, and they are not in a position to carry on indulging those two royal.
Well, I think
idiots.
the reality is they've milked everything that they could possibly milk. I was saying that Meghan is as black as I'm Chinese, so she can't milk that anymore.
Yes.
We've seen the kids, and they're both ginger, so there's no questions about what we thought they would look
Unlucky.
like. I mean.
Yeah. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now.
Listen.
We have nothing against ginger people.
No, of course not. Sorry, Angela. Anyway, your third.
It's Nadine Dorries, the Culture Secretary.
Yes.
Who I think didn't
Who's also not in for lying, then.
No, she's not in for lying.
Amazing. Another MP
not this
doesn't
time.
lie.
Not this time, yeah.
But, I mean, she told her truth, as Meghan would put it.
Yeah.
That when Jacob Rees-Mogg, impressively in my view, toured all of the empty ministries, particularly the Treasury, went into these offices where all of these bone-idle civil servants are refusing to go to work. They're still working from home for reasons that none of the rest of us can work out. He went to these offices and left notes saying, sorry you were out when I called by, perhaps you'll be in next time.
Yeah.
But he has made a big thing, saying we must get the civil servants back to work. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Because not only is that important, it sends a message to the private sector as well. We've got to get people back to work. This is pernicious and damaging.
Well, also, nothing's being done either.
Yeah, it's pernicious and damaging to the entire country. The civil service isn't functioning. Loads of private companies are going down the chute because no one will go to work. We've got to get them back into work. So here's to Jacob Rees-Mogg for this campaign. Nadine Dorries comes up and says he's being Dickensian about it.
I don't understand.
She didn't get the, what
he
is
does
it?
look a bit Dickensian.
Well, yeah,
but
but why is he being Dickensian?
He really
He's
is.
just saying if you get
to work.
Yeah, if you get a salary, then your contract should have it in there that you go into
But all
work.
these people who go, but I don't like going into work. I don't care. You're fired.
So,
You know, you're
the civil service is falling apart at the seams.
Yeah.
This country is in danger of really falling into dysfunctional rack and ruin because the government's agent that runs this country, the civil service, is empty. No one's going to work. Don't tell me they can do the job properly. They can't. You cannot do your job properly at home. End of.
Exactly.
But the thing is, the standards across ministries vary so much. Like the Ministry of Defence, when they released, when the government gave the go-ahead to release these arms to Ukraine, they did it within 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have other ministries, and it's just pathetic.
Oh, it's hopeless.
It's just like a
But
creeping...
you've got the Home Office who just sit there, and when Priti Patel comes in and says, go and do that, will you? They just go, no.
No, yeah.
And they just don't do it.
Yeah, well, when you say sit there,
Listen,
they're not usually there.
I don't
I
mind civil servants having like a hybrid working model.
I
which is
do.
what-
I do.
No, but the thing is,
do.
that's
Yeah, but
why
we
a lot
pay
of the
them.
private sector...
I absolutely mind
Hold
it.
on. There's a caveat to
no
this.
compromise on this,
There's a caveat
Esther.
to this. Because that's where a lot of the private sector is moving to, and the private sector is more
they're
efficiency.
wrong as
But
well.
This is the thing.
The civil service has got to show
But
the
also-
way.
Hold on,
Yeah.
but the thing is, the caveat is you need to prove that they're just as productive at work. They're not even productive in work. So they shouldn't be doing this.
I know the result of that survey already. They are not as productive
Yeah,
when they're
exactly.
working
That's
at
the
home.
caveat.
So both the civil service and private companies have got to get everyone back to work. And all the big private companies that say, oh, it's really great with working from home, you watch, they will record really bad, record low profits. They'll go to rack and ruin.
Well, the first
people
crack,
have to go to work.
The first crack in the wall has appeared because a city law firm yesterday offered said to people who work for them, you can work from home if you want.
You get
take
20%,
a 20% pay cut, which is right.
That's a
But I
fifth
had
of
a
your
guy
salary.
call me yesterday and say that in Plymouth City Council, they've got 92% working from home. Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, we must move on. Talking of places that don't operate properly and don't work because nobody's doing anything, the NHS, I'm afraid, is getting it from me this week.
regular.
Not least because the Times today did an investigation in which it found that there are terrible hospitals up and down the country where no repairs have been done, where ceilings are falling in. They had one place where sewage was running through a ward, through the walls, into the floor. They had a guy who was trapped in a lift. Who was supposed to be going for an operation. Lift broke down. He's in there for 35 minutes on his own, on a ventilator, right? I mean, just incredible stuff. And nothing. I mean, I said today, they're getting billions and billions of pounds a week, this organisation. What are they doing with it? Are they just burning the money?
It's being funneled up to the top of these useless administrators that are making
it's
6
incredible.
figures.
Absolutely incredible.
Why have they still got the COVID crisis in the NHS?
Yeah.
Why on earth are they still acting like we've got the bubonic plague amongst them?
Again,
it's ridiculous.
There's one hospital, right, where a guy says he went to visit his sick wife. They only allow one visitor for 1 hour, right, at a time, but not in the ward. This is in the whole hospital.
It's ridiculous.
So people are allowed in one by one.
Yeah,
Is this the
and
national
for all
COVID
this, I never know quite how to frame this, but where is the best place to catch COVID, as it were, the worst place? In an NHS hospital.
In an NHS hospital.
So all of their measures aren't working.
No, of course they're not. Well, I had another guy today who went to visit his mother in a care home, and they said it's a very high-risk area, this, you might get COVID. So he said, don't worry, I'll put on all the heavy PPE, put on a mask, walked in, saw his mother, got COVID.
Well, I mean,
Even
so that
with
was
all the
pointless,
protection.
exactly.
So, you know,
and we're all
that's the way
going
it
to get
goes.
COVID anyway if you haven't already.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, you can get all those other diseases as well. What's it? C. difficile, sepsis.
Oh,
all
cancer.
these places,
MRSA.
all these places, all these conditions, you're very likely to catch at hospitals.
Yes. Right, well, listen, we've got our 9. We have to get them down to the final 3.
Okay.
Yes.
We've got just about 5 minutes to do it.
Okay.
So, why don't you pick Esther's? Esther, tell...
remind me
So
of...
mine were Greece getting basically woke.
Woke is the word.
Woke is the
Well,
word.
that's good.
Boris's right to buy scheme and Marvel. Is it Marvel? No. Warner Brothers
Warner
Studios
Brothers.
for Aquaman 2 for letting Amber Heard be in it.
Well, I'm going to go for Greece.
Really?
Woke is the word. And the
Not Amber Turd.
No, because because I think that wokery. You know, people say, "Oh, why do people waste their time on the culture war?" I think it's really, really pernicious.
It is.
And it's a real threat
to
common sense.
And also,
Well, now
these people...
it's an economy, isn't it?
And these people who say, why are you getting so worked up about it? Well, why are you changing it?
Yeah.
It's the
I'll
other
tell you, that production of Greece won't last a year.
No,
it
it
will
won't,
go down the
literally.
pan because the casting is ridiculous.
It really is. Right, my 3, you can pick one. I've got Jolyon Moron, Angelina Jolie, and the NHS.
Ooh, the moron.
The moron man.
The moron
yeah,
man.
he hasn't been in it for a while.
I know.
I think he deserves it. This is a guy, by the way, who claims to have hardly any money, but lives in a massive spread with a windmill. He's got his own windmill somewhere in Sussex. And he tried to chip away at the guys that came to redo his house. Yeah. Gave him a bill for something like £2 million quid. And he's only paid him $1 million. They took him to court. So, I mean, he's
No doubt he lost that, did he?
He did, yeah. Of course
he did.
He loses everything.
He's the worst lawyer in the world.
He's literally the worst lawyer in the world. And I mean, only an idiot would put out a tweet on Boxing Day to say, I've just killed a fox with a baseball bat.
Yeah, and I was wearing a kimono.
Yeah, I
he thought that was a good thing to do.
Unbelievable.
It ruined him. He never recovered.
He's never recovered. Right, so
mine
pick yours.
are the Liars of Westminster, the Norfolk Constabulary for their gender-bred person, and Nadine Dorris for saying that people should be allowed to.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the Liars of Westminster.
I was just about to say, it could be anything else.
Doesn't it? 'Cause it's got to be. I mean, you've got to get Tractor Man in there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's lucky actually that he's not in there on his own. He's
Well,
been
that's-
saved by the.
Well,
by
he's
the-
part of a syndrome, isn't
Yeah.
it? I agree with
part
you.
of
I think it's the Liars of Westminster.
I think the Lions of Westminster are going to be hard pushed to be knocked off the top spot, really, aren't they?
I think it's a universal
We've got to
agreement.
send a message.
They've
to
sort
the
of
plank,
dominated
from the
this
plank.
week.
I'm still
haven't
traumatised at the idea
We're
that
sick
everyone
of it.
finds Angela Rayner opening her legs sexy.
But
Like,
we're-
just
we're-
picture
I
it.
wish you hadn't said that.
But
now,
we're
because that's
drawing
all I'm thinking of.
We're drawing the line at this lying. We've got to get the message across to these
Yeah.
people. They've got to stop lying to us.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
that's
really
never
have.
going to happen. They're
I don't think they
politicians.
can.
It's
Well,
though.
we
part of
can
the
try
job.
though. We can at least.
I
get
mean,
the
there is that
message
old
over.
phrase, isn't there? You know, how do you know when a politician's lying? Because he's moving his lips.
Yeah, because
I
he's
mean,
talking,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not sure. I think telling the truth is something they just
But they're
don't know
as
how
I
to
said
do.
earlier, they're so bad at it though. They're like
Yeah.
little kids.
And the thing is, it's so
sorry I didn't do my
disrespectful to the
homework.
public's
You know.
intellect.
Yeah. And also, in no other place, you can imagine when you've done something really stupid and you go home and you say to the wife, I've referred myself to the committee for wrongdoing because I don't know whether I did anything wrong. They'll
exactly.
tell me in about a year.
Yeah.
And you go, what?
Yeah, they always like to kick it into the long grass. You can imagine Neil Parish going home to his wife that night and said, I've got in a bit of trouble because they think, I was looking at porn in the House of Commons, but it's all right, I got away with it. I told them I was looking at tractors. Phew, what a great excuse.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, I think he
pathetic.
also did say he'd been an
Pathetic.
effing idiot, didn't he? Which is entirely correct. But anyway, who knows?
Watching porn in the Commons is incredible to me, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a specific kind of moron to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It
it's
really
for
does.
the Commons, 650 MPs, many of them brilliant, many of them hard-working, but there are a lot of morons in that place.
Maybe Jolien
And
should
lying
join them.
morons at that.
Maybe Jolien morons should join them
Yeah.
and stand for government somehow. Well, thank you guys, Kevin, Esther. We'll be back. The moron and indeed the plank of the week is actually a group of people, the liars of Westminster, all those MPs who can't tell the truth, as nominated by us. Congratulations, guys. Well done. Talk about bringing the place into disrepute. It has no reputation left.
Exactly.
And we'll be back next week with more planks